Hello learners, my name is Bhagyalakshmi. I am going to teach you about the sectoral aspects of Indian economy. In this chapter, we will learn about the three major sectors of Indian economy which the households pursue to earn their living, the role and importance of each of these sectors in the economy, and the linkages, that is connections among these sectors. According to the types of occupation people pursue, there are three different sectors of the economy: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Now we will learn one by one what are these sectors. You take the scene of rural areas in India. How do the people who are living in villages earn their livelihood? Have you ever thought about it? Most of them you can see working on the field. They are farmers. Many of them work on the field to raise crops, which is known as cultivation. They are known as farmers or agricultural laborers. That means their occupation is agriculture. And what they do produce? They produce mainly two types of goods. What are they? Food items and non-food items. So what we have seen here, most of the people, especially in the rural areas, they work on field and they produce crops. And the crops that they produce, they are food items. Now what are the food items? Food items are those items which we require to make food. That is food grains, fruits, vegetables, edible oil. These all are known as food items. These are produced by the farmers in the rural areas. These food items that we use regularly every day in our life includes cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables. And now what are the non-food items? Non-food items are those items which we use regularly in our day-to-day life, that is clothes, shoes, furniture, utensils, automobiles, pen, paper, book, desk, like that so many innumerable number of things we use in our day-to-day life. These are non-food items which are not consumed as food but used for many other purposes. And all these non-food items, these are produced by industries in towns and cities. So what we have seen here? Mainly, many people in the rural areas, they work in the field to grow crops, as well as there are so many other people in the towns and cities who work in the industries to produce so many other things which we require in our day-to-day life. Since the production of food grains and production of non-food items take place in different environment, we classify them as the different sectors of the economy. You have seen that the production of crops take place in rural areas. Production of non-food items like clothes, machines, so many other things that we use regularly in our day-to-day life are produced in the factories in the towns and cities. Now accordingly, we classify the different activities that the people do to earn a living into three different sectors. What are the three different sectors? We already have seen. They are primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Now we will learn one by one what are these sectors. First of all, primary sector. What is primary sector? Primary sector is the sector in which the goods are produced by exploiting the natural resources wherever the goods are produced, and that sector will be called as primary sector. The farmers grow crops. There are so many people who everyday basis go to the forest to collect the wood. There are people who go to sea, open sea or rivers, catch fish. All of them are doing what? They are exploiting the natural resources. So, the people who are engaged producing goods by exploiting the natural resources are engaged in a sector called primary sector. So once again, I'll say primary sector is the sector in which the goods are produced by exploiting the natural resources. The primary sector, the different activities in the primary sector, we can divide into 4 different categories. What are they? Number 1, agriculture and allied activities. Number 2, fishery. Number 3, forestry. Number 4, mining and quarrying. So these are the 4 different activities connected to the primary sector. Now the second sector, which is the most important sector, that is the secondary sector. All the producing units relating to manufacture of goods, both large and small industries, are known as the secondary sector. All the producing sector which are the manufacture of goods in the factories are related to the secondary sector. And the secondary sector basically includes 3 important sectors. They are manufacturing sector, construction sector, gas, water and electricity supply. Now what is manufacturing? Manufacturing means it's a production of goods by using raw materials in manufacturing units called factories and industries. Manufacturing is the process of producing goods in factories and industries by using the raw materials. By using the raw materials produced by the primary sector, whenever we produce goods, some other goods in the factories and industries, then that process is known as manufacturing. Construction. You might have seen so many buildings, residential as well as non-residential buildings under construction. Construction sector includes the construction of residential and non-residential buildings, roads, parks, bridges, dams, airports, bus stops and so on. So construction is also an important sector of the secondary sector. Now we move on to the third important sector included in the secondary sector, that is gas, electricity and water supply. Another important occupation people pursue in the secondary sector is gas, water and electricity supply. These are very essential services. Thus, what we can say? We can say that the secondary sector is a sector which includes manufacturing, construction, electricity, gas and water supply. All these are included in the secondary sector. Now we move on to the third important sector, that is the tertiary sector. Tertiary sector is the service sector because the tertiary sector provides services to the other 2 sectors. Other 2 sectors means the primary and the secondary sector. That means tertiary sector is the sector which is engaged in providing services of different nature. The people who are engaged in providing services are said to be employed in the tertiary sector. Now, what are the service sector or tertiary sector? The tertiary sector or the service sector includes so many production units. Sector which provides services of banking, insurance, transport, communication, all these are included in the service sector. Such occupations related to service sector exist in the urban areas. Tertiary sector is also known as service sector. As I have already said, the tertiary sector is also known as service sector. Now, what are the services provided by the tertiary sector? The tertiary sector provides many services like trade, hotels and restaurants, transport, storage, communication. You commute by bus, you commute by metro, all are given by the service sector. Many financial services like banking, insurance, these are also provided by the tertiary sector. Real estate, business services, public administration, even defense services is also a part of the tertiary sector. Now we can find out the occupational distribution of the working population in India in different sectors. We can find that agriculture is a major sector in terms of occupation. Why is the major sector in terms of occupation? Because the agriculture sector employs more than 50% of the total population of the economy. According to 2009-10, we can see the agriculture sector occupy almost 50.19% of the total population. Whereas manufacturing sector is employing only 13.33%. The other important sector which occupies the major population is the service sector, tertiary sector. We can see the table here. The service sector includes trade, hotels, transport, storage, financial business services, other services. Accordingly, we can find that another important sector besides the primary sector is the tertiary sector, because many people are engaged in these service sector activities. Now, we move on to the importance of the different sectors. First of all, what is the role and importance of primary sector? The primary sector is very important. We can learn the role and importance of primary sector according to the share in national income, according to how they provide employment, and according to how they provide food to millions, and according to how they provide raw materials to industries. One by one we will learn it. How the primary sector contribute to national income. See, at the time of independence, agriculture was contributing more than 50% to national income. In recent years, its share has come down. In the year 2009-10, the contribution of agriculture was about 15%. The contribution of agriculture in the year 2009-10 was 15% to the national income. And in terms of occupation, many years of independence, still agriculture is the mainstay of Indian economy. That means majority of people in India is still dependent on agriculture. It's the occupation of the largest section of India's population. Agriculture provides employment to majority of population. At the time of independence, about 70% of our population depended on agriculture and allied activities to earn their livelihood. So we can very well say agriculture was the mainstay of Indian economy. Now we can understand the importance of agriculture in one more important way, because it provides food to millions of people. We know food is the most basic requirement of life. Without agriculture, food production and supply would be non-existent. We cannot think about food without agriculture. The agriculture provides food to millions of Indians. India's food requirement is not only very high but also increasing every year because of increase in its population. Not only that, the agriculture is very important because it provides raw materials to industries. There are so many industries in our country which are known as agro-based industries. Why? Because they depend on agriculture for their raw materials. So many of them are there, like sugar industry, jute industry, cotton textile industry, vanaspati industry, oil seeds industry. Like that, so many industries are there. They get their raw materials from agriculture. So that means agriculture provides raw materials to many industries. Not only that, for producing paper, a special type of grass, bamboo, is required. Without agriculture, paper production is not possible. So agriculture is very important in terms of raw materials to industries. Now we move on to the importance of secondary sector. In the secondary sector, we know manufacturing industries form the major part. The manufacturing sector has a major role to play. The manufacturing industries are categorized into small scale and large scale industry. Now, what is a small scale industry? Small scale industry is an industry, the industries which are set up with a minimum capital of rupees 25 lakh is known as small scale industry. And the most important feature of small scale industry is what? It is a labor intensive industry. It uses labor intensive technology. That means it uses more labor than machines. So, small scale industry is very important in terms of providing employment to the people. We can learn the importance of industrial sector by understanding their share in national income, employment generation, creation of infrastructure, provision of consumer goods. First of all, we will understand what is the share of the manufacturing sector or the industrial sector in the national income. The contribution of industrial sector has been increasing slowly over time after independence. After independence, the share of industrial sector or the secondary sector to national income is increasing over the years. The share of industrial sector to the national income was 28% in the year 2009-10. Again, the industrial sector also contributes to employment generation. It provides employment opportunity to India's ever-growing population. We know that the population of our country increases every year. So, industrial sector is the sector which employs large number of people. Lakhs of people could be employed in the industrial sector. So, industrial sector is the largest sector which employs people. Moreover, which is the most important thing, the industrial sector helps in creating infrastructure. We require infrastructure like roads, railway lines, bridges, dams, buildings, residential as well as non-residential for our development. We can call our country developed whenever all these are developed. So, industry contributes to the creation of all this infrastructure. We cannot think about these infrastructure without industries. Now the life has become easier because the industrial sector has provided so much infrastructure to us in the way of roads, railways, highways, metro rail, like that so many airways, innumerable number of infrastructure has been created by the industrial sector. Moreover, the industrial sector also has given us many consumer goods, many luxuries of life. We depend on so many things in our day-to-day life, and all these consumer goods, whatever we wear, the dress, the pen, the toothbrush, the soap, the shoes, the watch, you cannot count in fingers that many number of items are provided by the manufacturing industries. So, manufacturing sector, we can understand that it's very much important in our life. Now, we can understand the role of the service sector or the tertiary sector. The tertiary sector, like all the other sectors, is also very important because it includes transport, banking, insurance, warehousing, tourism, public administration, defense, like that innumerable number of services are included in the service sector. We can understand the importance of service sector by understanding its contribution to national income, its contribution in providing employment, its contribution in attracting funds from foreign countries, and its contribution in exports. First of all, we can understand how does the tertiary sector contribute to national income. Among all the three sectors, that is agriculture, industry and service, it is the service sector or the tertiary sector that has contributed maximum to the national income of India. If India's national income is 100, then the service sector has contributed almost 55.2% in the year 2009-10, which is more than half of the total. You can understand the importance of tertiary sector. tertiary sector contributes the most to the national income of our country. Again, we can have a tabular representation of the contribution of the different sectors. You can see the trade, hotels, etc. It contribute 16%, transport, communication, etc. contribute 7.8%, finance, real estate, business, etc. contribute 16.7%, community, social and other areas contribute 14%, totaling together to 55.2% of the total national income. We can understand how far the tertiary sector contribute to employment. Nowadays, more and more people are getting employed in the service sector. Out of the total employment level in the country, the service sector has absorbed almost 29.4% of the total population. In the coming years, this figure is going to increase. The main reason is that the number of educated people in India is increasing every year. So, the number of people employed in the tertiary sector is also going to increase. Again, the tertiary sector also contribute to attract funds from foreign countries. Banking, insurance, trade, transport, hotel services, all of them combinedly attracted more than 1,18,000 crores of rupees from foreign countries in the form of direct investment. Can you imagine? Recently, the computer service has grown many-fold in India. So, the contribution of service sector is immense. Again, we can understand the importance of service sector by its contribution to exports. We export so many goods to other countries. So many services we export to other countries. And we earn foreign exchange in the form of dollar, euro, yen, pound sterling, etc. In recent years, India's service sector has contributed a lot in earning foreign exchange for the country through exports. Now, we can understand that there are three sectors in the Indian economy: primary sector, secondary sector and the tertiary sector. And what you have learned so far? You learned that there are three major sectors of the Indian economy: the occupation the households pursue to earn their living. We also learned about the role and importance of each of these sectors in the Indian economy, and also we learned about the linkages, the connection among these three sectors. The primary, secondary and tertiary sectors are related to each other. The primary sector provides raw material to secondary sector. Secondary sector provide so many consumer goods to the service sector. The service sector above all provide so many services to the primary and the tertiary sectors. So that's all in this chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने हम, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर। दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, स्वयं बने हम,
घर बैठे पाएं राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान यानी NIOS में एडमिशन, वो भी एकदम आसान तरीके से, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को होगी समय और धन दोनों की बचत। NIOS से शिक्षा कभी भी कहीं भी। शिक्षार्थियों, क्या आप जानते हैं NIOS में एडमिशन लेने का सरल और सुगम तरीका, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को ऑनलाइन प्रवेश लेने में सहूलियत मिलती है। NIOS में प्रवेश की प्रक्रिया पूर्णतया ऑनलाइन है। शिक्षार्थी घर बैठे इंटरनेट द्वारा प्रवेश के लिए सबसे पहले NIOS की वेबसाइट www.nios.ac.in पर लॉगिन करें। अपना ईमेल आईडी और पासवर्ड डालकर अपना पंजीकरण करें। पंजीकरण के बाद लॉगिन करने पर ऑनलाइन प्रवेश हेतु आवेदन पत्र खुलेगा। आवेदन पत्र को निर्देशानुसार भरें और प्रिंट आउट लें। इस प्रिंट आउट पर अपनी फोटो संलग्न करें। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश के लिए शुल्क हेतु भुगतान के तरीके हैं: क्रेडिट कार्ड के द्वारा, डेबिट कार्ड के द्वारा, राष्ट्रीयकृत बैंक के ड्राफ्ट के माध्यम से, जो कि सचिव NIOS नई दिल्ली या नोएडा के पक्ष में देय हो। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश एक बहुत ही सुगम और सुविधाजनक प्रवेश प्रणाली है। ऑनलाइन ऑन टाइम फॉर सेफ एंड सिक्योर एडमिशन।